Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. You're with me, Arun Sharma, and today we are continuing our last week to CAT. And a lot of you had asked me to actually do something in terms of data interpretation. So yesterday I explained what I meant by telling you about logical reasoning. कि logical reasoning में clue control करने का मतलब क्या होता है? I showed you that in a question, and you could see that 12 marks in the CAT 2020 paper slot 1 was actually pretty easy to get. So today I'm continuing part of that, and I'm going to talk about, if you remember my first session on last week to CAT prep on data and on DILR day before yesterday. In that session I talked about you control in LR you control the clues, and in DILR in data interpretation you have to control the variables. Yes. So in logical reasoning you control the clues. In data interpretation you control the variables. In logical data interpretation, you have to control clues as well as variables. So today I'm doing a live solving of that because a lot of you had asked me to do something like that today. So I'm again I'll definitely take up questions from you. I can see your chats here for some of you, or maybe I'll just take it onto my phone. I'll open the broadcast on the phone here, so that I can see the chats that are happening. Okay, so what we are doing is we are doing this this session. Yeah, okay, I can see the chats here, so I'll pick up the chats a little bit later. Yeah, so yeah, Priya, welcome to the session. So we'll pick this up. So I'm doing a live DI solving, showing you exactly, and here today we are playing for actually 18 marks in the paper. We're playing for 18 marks in the paper. So let's have a look. It's a tough question from most perspectives. A lot of people found this question very tough. This is CAT 2020 slot 1. And in conjunction with the 12 marks you got in yesterday's question, which you could see was not more than 6 minutes of work, you will see that this 18 marks, if you actually do react properly and you understand what the clues are. Hi, good evening everybody, welcome. So you understand what the clues are, you will see that these 18 marks is also not more than maybe 7-8 minutes at max. So let's just without any further ado, let's get into this question. So the question is saying, in a certain board exam, students were to appear for examination 5 subjects. Now you have to understand the basic framework here. You have to understand the basic framework in this situation. And when you start looking at this, in a certain board exam, students were to appear for examination 5 subjects: English, Hindi, mathematics, science, and social science. Due to a certain emergency situation, a few of the examinations could not be conducted for some students. Right? So let me just expand this a little bit. I hope you can see this. Due to an emergency, a few of the examinations could not be conducted for some students. Hence, some students missed one examination, and some others missed 2 examinations. Nobody missed more than 2 examinations. So out of 5 exams, people have missed 1 exam or 2 exams, right? But nobody missed more than 2 exams. The board adopted the following policy for awarding marks to students. If a student appeared in all 5 exams, then the marks awarded in each of the exams were on the basis of the scores obtained by them in those exams. That's perfectly okay, and this is pretty topical in terms of the kind of question that I mean that should be made in the context of COVID and exams getting cancelled all over the place. So you will see that they'll have some of the DI sets that they create will have some link to what is happening around the world, and this was one of them in last year's paper. And then this is the key question. These 2 are the key statements you need to understand before you head into the analysis of the table. And the first one was, if a student missed only 1 exam, then the marks awarded in that exam was the average of the best 3 amongst the 4 exams they appeared for. So if you miss one exam, you take the top 3 scores that you have in the 4 scores that you've gotten. You got 4 scores, take the top 3 and take the average, give the average of that. If a student missed 2 exams, then the marks awarded in each of these exams was the average of the best 2 amongst the 3 scores in the exams they appeared for. So just get a hack of this thing. So if you have missed 1 exam, you would have taken 4 exams. So out of the 4 exams you have taken, take the top 3 scores and allocate the average of the top 3 scores. Allocate of the average of the top 3 scores to that missed paper. If you have missed 2 exams, that means you have given 3 exams. Take the top 2 scores and give the average of the top 2 scores to both these. Give the average of the top 2 scores to both this. That's the basic logic here, right? And the marks obtained by 6 students in the exam are given in the table below. Each of them has missed either one or two exams. You have to read this properly, because if you don't read this, then you might you might get confused about कि पांचों एग्जाम किसी ने दिया है कि नहीं दिया. यहाँ पे clearly लिखा हुआ है each of them missed either 1 or 2 exams. And one of the things that you should definitely do when you're trying to improve your DI solving, and this is also for CAT 22 aspirants, when you're trying to improve your data interpretation solving, one of the things that you should do is to make sure that your reading becomes more precise and this thing. So we are done with that information. So I'll come to the table now. So I think to read that and understand that, you would require maybe what 3 minutes, 3.5 minutes at max. So 3.5 minutes you are in the table now. You are inside the table, and when you open this table, so Subhanshu is asking this question: mock questions do they come in CAT exam or not? Even if the exact question does not come, you will find a lot of similarity between good quality mock questions and the exam. So you can take that as the answer, right? और quants के questions तो कभी-कभी आ सकते हैं same, but quants typically CAT में थोड़ा easier रहेगा than what you are facing in the mocks. So I hope that answers your question, Shubhanshu and Aruna. Good evening. So coming back to this question. So now the marks obtained by the 6 students in the exams are given in the table below. Each of them missed either 1 or 2 examinations. इतना समझ में आ गया हम लोग को? So I mean the remaining part is what you have to do on the table. So when I look at ALVA, for example, ALVA का score अगर मैं देखता हूँ, and I try to see कि ALVA ने 1 exam miss किया कि 2 exam miss किया, my question is that, and this is the DI question because it's not just the use of the clues, but also understanding what the variables are inside the table and understanding the table. So if I look at ALVA score, one thing you should realize that before you go there, that if somebody has missed 2 exams, the score for the 2 exams would be equal for that student, because the average of the top 2 scores of the remaining 3 scores will be taken and be allocated to both those exams. So suppose if I missed 2 exams and I've got 80, 100, 80 and 17, my 3 exams that I took, so the 2 exams that I missed, I'll get 90 marks each. So what you have to realize is that the possibility of 2 exams missing for ALVA is on science and social science only, science and Hindi only, if ALVA is missing 2 exams. And in case ALVA is missing 1 exam, if I think about, and this is where a calculation speed comes into the picture, can ALVA miss the English exam? The answer is no, because if ALVA misses the English exam, her best 3 papers will be these 3, and you can't get an average of 80 in that case. So basically, one thing you realize immediately is that the top score cannot be the 1 exam missed if somebody is missing that. Can ALVA miss the Hindi exam? The answer is yes, because if ALVA misses the Hindi exam, her top 3 scores are English, Maths, 80, 70 and 75. So her missed score will also be 75, because the average of 80, 70 and 75 is 75 itself. Can ALVA miss the Maths exam? The answer is no. Can she miss the Maths exam? The answer is no, because in that case she will get the average of these 3, which is not 70. Can she miss the Science exam? The answer is yes, because she will get the average of these 3, which will be 75. And can she miss the Social Science exam? The answer is no, because if she is missing the Social Science exam, her average, the score allocated to her will be the average of these three, which will be definitely more than 60. So based on this information, we can actually come out with this logic inside this question that Alva has missed either Hindi or science or both of them. So now you have to do this 6 times over to understand, to do this. And if your calculation skills are good, each of these lines should take you maybe half a minute to 45 seconds to understand. अब बिथी को देखो, top score को तो हम लोग हटा सकते हैं. This is not a score you can miss because you can't get that as an average of the other scores. Bottom score को भी हटा सकते हैं. These two we don't need to check. Can Bithi miss the Hindi exam? This is the first one I'll check for. So if she misses the Hindi exam, then her top 3 scores are 90, 85, 85. It's not possible, right? So she can't miss the Hindi exam. Can she miss the science exam? The answer is yes, because in that case, the top 3 scores for Bithi are 90, 80 and 85, and the average of 90, 80, 85 is 85. Similarly, she can miss the social science exam. And she can miss both, because if she misses both science and social science, she'll be given the average of 90 and 80. So this is Hindi. So the possibility for Bithi is science and social science, or both. Right? So we just have to keep our patience in this question and continue doing this for 4 more rows. Let's look at Kal. Now Kal ka we can see that again, by now we realize that if 2 scores are same, we should check those first. You should realize that if 2 scores are same, you should check their values first. So if I talk about mathematics and social science, missing both, then Kal's average will be the missing scores will be replaced by the average of 180, which is 90 each. So Kal के लिए maths miss करना भी possible है और social science miss करना भी possible है. अगर सिर्फ मैथ्स मिस करता है तो उसका एवरेज लिया जाएगा 100, 90 और 80 से. अगर वो सिर्फ मैथ्स मिस करता है तो 100, 90 और 80 से उसका एवरेज लिया जाएगा. और अगर वो सिर्फ सोशल साइंस मिस करता है तो भी 100, 90 और 80 से उसका एवरेज लिया जाएगा. तो whichever you look at it, Kal can miss maths, social science, what I've written social science as, I should write this also as SSC, because यहाँ पे science और social science था, maths and social science, or again both. This is important for Kal. It's very important to keep track of your deductions in a very clean fashion on your board. So next one is Deep. और Deep का अगर देखोगे तो Deep our first focus should go on to Hindi and science for Deep. And again you can see if Deep misses 2 exams, mathematics and social science, so in that case Deep will get 90, if Deep misses Hindi and science both, तो Deep का score 100 और 80 का average दिया जाएगा उन exams में, in which case he will get 80, 90 in both the exams. So for Deep also, it's possible to miss the Hindi and science exams or both the exams, right? Because again, if he misses only the Hindi exam, then he is going to get the average of these 3, which will again be 90. So for Deep, the deduction is that he can miss Hindi, science or both. Then you come to Isha. So when you look at Isha now, Isha's missing. Now Isha ka numbers, all 5 numbers are different from each other. So can she miss this? English, 85 plus 90, 5, 180 plus 60, 240. These are the top 3 scores. English ka score 80 can be a score that is filled in. So English is possible for Isha, and only English is possible. Is it possible to do 85? Could this be the missing score? The answer is no, because if this is the missing score, the top 3 scores should be adding to 255, and 95 plus 80, 175 plus 60 does not add up to 255. I keep telling you, the faster your additions are, the better you will be in handling these reactions. So 95 to check karne zarurat nahi, you can never be allocated the maximum score, and 55 also you can never be allocated the minimum score. 60 is too small, because if Isha has missed science, if Isha has missed science, she will get the average of these 3 marks, which is much more than 80. So for Isha it is not possible to miss, for Isha it is not possible to miss the science exam. So Isha ka ek hi possibility, English exam missing. And since everybody has missed at least 1 or 2 exams, so we can be sure that this is one of the exams which have been missed. Ye to clear ho gaya. And Isha has missed only 1 exam. This much is clear. Now what about phony? Phony ke liye again look at the numbers. 83, 83 is the first thing that your mind should go to. And you can see that the average of the top 2 will be 78, 88 is 83. So it's for phony, it's possible to miss the English and social science, or both exams. तो ये deductions तुमको table से निकालने हैं as you move through the table. Now the issue moves to the usage of the clues in the question. The issue moves to the usage of the clues in the question. So clues में जब जाते हो, तो clues में the first clue says 4 of these students appeared in each of the English, Hindi, Science and Social Science exam. So if 4 people have appeared in English, that means 2 people have missed out on English. There have been 2 people who have missed out on English, 2 people who missed out on Hindi, 2 people who have missed out on Science, and 2 people who have missed out on Social Science. And the next clue says the student who missed the mathematics exam did not miss any other exam. So the student who missed the mathematics exam. So if you look through your deductions here, you will realize 2 things. From this clue you realize that there is 1 person who missed the mathematics exam. If we look at these deductions, mathematics missing is only possible for C, because A does not have A as history or science, B has science and social science, C has maths or social science or both, D has history or science or both, E has only English, and F has English and social science. So maths missing is only possible for Carl. So this is a definite miss, and Carl would have also have only missed 1 exam. Carl would have also only missed 1 exam, because the student who missed the mathematics exam did not miss any other exam. So now we have, if I go through this now, on the columns I realize that there are 9 numbers which are replaced numbers because they have been missed by people. In the rows I've got 1 here and 2 here. So number of values missed in the column wise tally should be equal to the number of values missed in the row wise tally. And this is the constant structure which is always used inside what are called as truth tables. So what is happening inside this, some of these numbers are true, that means they are actual marks that the student got, and some numbers are false, they have been given as a dole out by the board based on the mechanism they created. So they are false. So we are looking at finding those 9 false readings. There are 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 1. There are 9 false readings in this. So if I look at this is Carl is definitely 1 false reading, and Isha is definitely 1 false reading. That means Carl's row mein the other 4 readings are all correct, and Isha's row mein the other 4 readings are all correct. So there are only 2 false readings right now that we've been able to identify. And if I look at Alva has got 1 or 2 based on whether you allocate Hindi or science or both. Same with Bithi, science or social science or both. This is also 1 or 2. Same with Deep, Hindi, science or both, 1 or 2. And same with Phony, English, social science or both, 1 or 2. So 1 plus 1 and 1 or 2, 1 or 2, 1 or 2, 1 or 2, the total has to be 9, which should tell you that if I take all the 2s, 2 missing on each of them, that means I allocate both in all cases, I'm going to hit a total of 10. That means there's a slack of 1, I need to drop one of these 2s into 1s. That's the only way to get a total of 9 here. Let me just explain that to you here. Let's say you have a situation where you've got 3 numbers, each of whose values is 1 or 2, and the total for these 3 numbers, let's say A, B and C, the total for these 3 numbers given to you is 5. So what do you conclude? what you conclude is that the maximum total possible is 6, and from 6 there's a drop of 1, and the only mechanism of dropping is to drop either this or this or that. There are 3 mechanisms through which you can drop. So either A is 1 and B, C are 2, B is 2, AC are 1 each, or C is 1, C is 2, C is 1 and AB are 2 each. So this is what the structure would be. So the same structure is happening here. You got 1, 2 in one case, 1, 2 in one case, 1 in the third case, 1, 2 in one case, 1 in the fifth case, and 1, 2 more here. And the total given to you is 9. So if the total is 9 on these 6 numbers, so if I take 2, 2, 1, 2, 1 and 2, my total becomes 10. So I have to drop this total by 1. This total has to go down by 1, which means one of these 1 or 2s, any one of them, has to be actually 1 rather than 2. So one of these 4 has to drop. So there are 4 possibilities that emerge for you. So that's something you realize at this point, and you also have the clues below further which have to be seen. So we have seen the first 2 clues. First 2 clues हम लोगों ने देख लिया, which tells us, which has told us that these were 2, 2, 2, 2 each, and the second one ki the student who missed maths told us that Carl is the student. And the last clue, this is the last thing that is actually stopping you from getting the marks inside this question. And always remember one thing, that whenever you're solving a DI or an LR question, and you would be around the 6-7 minute mark here, if you have done it efficiently. Inefficiently करोगे तो 9-10 minute point पे रहोगे. 18 marks है तो उतना play है इसमें कि थोड़ा inefficient भी थे तुम solving में और table reading में. You still had around 10 minutes, मतलब you had a play of 18 marks or 6 marks extra, so you could do a couple of minutes extra there. So and when you're solving these questions, the mindset that you should have inside the exam is कि let the examiner tell me what to do. I just have to obey instructions. So यहाँ पे most of what I've done is obeying instructions from the first 2 clues, and of course I had to do the deductions. The personal deductions I had to do from my mind was each of the rows, and each of the rows was telling me something which was not explicitly stated in the problem, and I had to extract that from there. So at this point in the problem, my thinking inside the exam would be if I can use clue 3, I should be done, because it's the examiner's responsibility to give me a path to those 18 marks. So when I look at the third clue, the question says one of the students who missed the Hindi exam did not miss any other exam. The other student who missed the Hindi exam also missed the science exam. So we have 2 people. अच्छा यहाँ पे मैंने I think गलत डाल दिया, ये English होगा ईशा का, because this was English. So what they are saying is one of the people who missed the Hindi exam also missed the science exam, and the other person who missed the Hindi exam did not miss any other exam. So I've got 2 people who missed the Hindi exam. If I look through, Hindi is missed only by Alva and Deep. They're B, C or F. B, C, E or F don't have Hindi as a missing possibility. So that means Alva must compulsorily miss Hindi and Deep must be compulsorily missing Hindi. And I know the 2 people who have missed Hindi. And what it's saying is that one of these 2 guys also missed the science exam. So the science missing is one of these 2 people. We don't know which one. Is it Alva or Deep? We don't know that, because the third clue is telling me that of Alva and Deep, one person missed only Hindi, the other person missed Hindi and science. So itna deduction हो जाता है मेरे को. So आगे मैं जाऊँ. So what this also tells me, यहाँ पे वो वाला लॉजिक यूज़ करना पड़ेगा कि हमको 9 मिसिंग चाहिए, और 9 मिसिंग्स के लिए टोटल हमारा 10 आ रहा था, और एक को ड्रॉप करना पड़ेगा हम लोग को. Somewhere there's a drop. So when I use for either Alva or Deep, for one of them when I use only Hindi, the automatic drop from missing both to missing only one will come down, will automatically happen for Alva or Deep. So what is going to happen, Alva या Deep का इस question में A, B, C, D, E, F, E is definitely 1, C is definitely missing 1, Alva or Deep are missing, one of them is missing 1, the other is missing 2, which means that the drop of 1 that you wanted from 10 to 9 is happening between Alva and Deep, which means that B has to be missing 2 exams and F has to be missing 2 exams. So if B is missing 2 exams, he has to miss both science and social science. So B misses science and social science. If F is missing both exams, Phony, she has to miss English and social science both. So F is missing English and F is missing social science. So if you look at what situation you are now in, you have been able to identify the two missings on the English column. The Hindi column is identified. The mathematics column is identified. The science column is partially identified. 85 is a missing value. And between 75 and 90, the other one of them is a missing value. And social science, you've been able to identify the two missings. So you're done with the question and you now go and score the marks. So if I look at the questions, what are the questions? The first question is this one. Who among the following did not appear for the maths exam? That's very clearly Kal. Who did not appear for the maths exam? We know that that's Kal. So that's 3 marks for you in this paper. And there's 18 marks, please mind that. There's 18 marks. Next question. Which students did not appear for the English exam? Which student did not appear for the English exam? Isha and Phony did not appear for the English exam. 6 marks. Question 14, option 2. You are down to you are up to 6 marks now. The third question, 6 questions, 18 marks here. So it's real. I mean, it's kind of a qualifying. If you're heading to a score of 80, this will take you to a score of 100 if you had got this through. What best can be concluded about the students who did not appear for the Hindi exam? Who did not appear for the Hindi exam? Who did not appear for the Hindi exam? Alva and Deep. We know that. So that's 9 marks now for you. The fourth question. What best can be concluded about the students who missed the science examination? What best can be concluded about the students who missed the science exam? Science exam कौन miss किया? Bithi definitely miss किया, or one of Alva and Deep miss किया. On cue, you have the option Bithi and 1 out of Alva and Deep. So that's 12 marks for you here. 12 marks for you here. And then the next question. How many of these students missed exactly one exam? You don't even need to go back. You know that there are 3 2s. 2 1s are compulsory and one of the 2s had to be brought down to 1. That was the whole theme of the problem. So there have to be 3 people who have missed exactly one exam. If I look back again, Carl is definitely one exam, Isha is definitely one exam, and one amongst Alva and Deep has missed one exam. So there are 3 people who have missed exactly one exam. So that makes it 3. And the last question, but not the least, 18 marks for you. For how many students can we be definite about the exams which they missed? For how many students can we be definite about the exams which they missed? Obviously 2 Alva और Deep का define नहीं हो रहा है. The other 4 का define हो गया है. B, C, E and F. Those 4 people you have been able to define. So the answer is 4 here. And that's 18 marks, my dear friend, in the CAT 2020 paper. This in conjunction with the 12 marks you got for the LR question yesterday. And there's a 4-set Venn diagram question. And this is not more than 10-12 minutes under any circumstance if you do it straight. If you do it if you do it straight, it's 9-10 minutes. If you do it with a couple of hiccups, miscalculations here and there, you'll still take 12 minutes to do it. So 12 minutes on this, 6 minutes, 7 minutes on the other one, and the 4-set Venn diagram and a couple of more sets. There was even a set on driver ratings, etc., which was 6-7 minutes barely. So you could actually do 20 questions, which would be 100 percentile in the CAT 2020 paper. What happens is not the difficulty in the question. What happens is what your mind is playing with you. So don't allow your mind to play tricks. Exam में एकदम cool रहो, 1 step at a time. I told you, 2-3 step ही होते हैं जहाँ पे key thoughts तुमको execute करने पड़ते हैं. Most of the thoughts here in this question, you can go and explain to a 9th standard kid. There will be 1 or 2 thoughts that for example, some of you are not trained so well, don't know that column wise 9 था तो row wise भी 9 होना है. If you miss that logic, then you will not be able to think ahead in that question. You will always keep getting confused कि किसको क्या करना है, because then you'll start seeing too many possibilities of what is happening. But once you catch that clue, and that's what I told you yesterday and day before yesterday also, कि 10-12 स्टेप करने पड़ते हैं DILR क्वेश्चन में, और 1 या 2 स्टेप पे थोड़ा दिमाग ज़्यादा लगता है, बाकी 8-9 स्टेप स्कूल वर्क स्टेप्स होते हैं. सो एकदम आराम से करो, और वो स्टेप्स तुमको अपने आप दिखेंगे, अगर लॉजिकली दिखेंगे, अगर तुम्हारा लॉजिक वहाँ पे प्रेजेंट है while solving the question. And of course you have to develop the logic during, for CAT 22 students, you have to develop logic during your preparation process while you do that. So I hope you enjoyed this question. Thank you so much. I'll just look through the chats now and try to answer as many as I can. Yeah, Vibhas says, I used to think all 6 question sets were difficult. I mean, देखो इस साल भी जो क्वेश्चन होगा, मैं बता रहा था तुम लोगों को लास्ट क्लास में भी कि CAT 21 का भी जो क्वेश्चन होगा, वो CAT का पेपर जब रिलीज हो जाएगा तो आई विल शो यू ऑल द क्वेश्चंस कितने इजी थे. तो एक चीज़ होता है, आई मीन दिस इज समथिंग दैट आई ऑलवेज गेट फीडबैक इन माई टीचिंग, दैट व्हेन आई टीच अ सेट बहुत आसान लगता है, जब खुद करने जाते हो तो मुश्किल लगता है. दैट्स बिकॉज ऑफ 2 थिंग्स. One is you don't have the programmed reactions, and the second is you have a tendency of being in a very nervous state and non-believing state, which is why belief structures and getting belief high on yourself कि मैं कर लूँगा, ये क्वेश्चन मैं कर रहा हूँ तो मैं सॉल्व कर लूँगा, that's very critical, right? Yeah, the Abhishek talks about brain freezing. That's this thing. तो DILR में क्या, जब जाओगे DILR में तो पहले प्ले करना कि 8 questions to 10 questions कर लो. 20-22 क्वेश्चन रहेंगे इस साल. I told you 5-5-5-5. Somebody mentioned in one of the chats कि he thinks it's 5-5-4-4-4. It can happen. I cannot negate that. So it can be that 5 sets of 22. पहले टारगेट करना कि 2 सेट्स करके सेफ हो जाओ सेक्शन में, and then you start playing for maximum. Then you start playing for maximum. And if things go well for you, if you can get the first 2 sets through in around 20 or 20 odd minutes, so like next 20 minutes में just go ballistic to try to go to 4 sets, right? Atharva says, if there are last 4 minutes, should we read the marked options or a new set? Last 4 minutes में अगर तुमने सॉल्व कर लिया है पूरा सेट्स, जो पिछला सेट्स कंप्लीट है, तो नेक्स्ट सेट में जाओ. और बहुत बार क्या होता है कि एक आध क्वेश्चन नेक्स्ट सेट का निकल जाता है. जैसे यहाँ पे इफ़ यू सी इन दिस क्वेश्चन, द फर्स्ट वन, वो तो मैंने क्वेश्चन 13 डिलीट कर दिया. द फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन वाज हु मिस्ड मैथ्स. तो अगर यहाँ पे देखोगे हु मिस्ड मैथ्स, दिस रिएक्शन वाज इन द 3rd minute, 3rd 4th minute ऑफ द क्वेश्चन. सो जस्ट सेइंग दैट 6 क्वेश्चन का सेट है, लास्ट 4 मिनट में कैसे होगा, डोंट डू दैट. फाइट टिल द एंड, फाइट टिल द लास्ट मिनट. एक मतलब वो जो खड़ूस बन के लड़ना होता है ना, वो करो एग्जाम के अंदर. डोंट गिव अप, राइट? हाउ टू सेलेक्ट इजी सेट? डोंट लुक फॉर इजी सेट्स. एवरी सेट इज डूएबल, एवरी सेट इज इजी, राइट? यू हैव टू हैव दैट द प्रैक्टिस. एंड देखो, एक बहुत बड़ा डिसएडवांटेज होता है उन लोगों के साथ जिनको सब सेट करना नहीं आता है. क्या डिसएडवांटेज होता है कि अगर 2 स्टूडेंट, जो मैंने बताया था लास्ट क्लास में भी, कि 2 स्टूडेंट हैं, एक को सब सेट करना आता है, तो फॉर हिम व्हेन ही इज चूजिंग अ सेट, हिज प्रेशर ऑन हिम इज ओनली, इज दिस द राइट सेट टू डू इन द कॉन्टेक्स्ट ऑफ हाउ मच टाइम इट विल टेक टू सॉल्व. Whereas for somebody who knows only 2 out of 5 sets or 3 out of 5 sets, उतना ही प्रैक्टिस की हो कि तुमसे 2 ही बनते हैं और उसके आगे खुद के नहीं बनते हैं, अगर वहीं तक पहुँचे हो तुम अपने प्रैक्टिस में, तो ऑटोमेटिकली तुम्हारा जो चॉइस हो जाता है वो बहुत मैसिवली मैटर करेगा. बिकॉज जब तुम सेट उठा रहे हो तो यू आर इन दैट वाई जंक्शन की बनेगा कि नहीं बनेगा. और तुमने अगर गलत सेट उठा लिया तो उसको क्या, उसने गलत सेट उठा लिया तो उसको क्या, व्हाट इज़ द हार्म ही इज़ गोइंग टू फेस? ही इज़ गोइंग टू फेस द हार्म कि 7 मिनट्स में उसको मार्क्स मिलने के बदले 10-11 मिनट में मिलेंगे. तुम्हारे के साथ क्या होगा? अगर तुमको सिर्फ 2 out of 5 आता है, गलत सेट उठा लिया, तो यू आर गोइंग टू गेट स्टक फॉर 10 minutes नॉट गेटिंग द आंसर, एंड देन यू आर गोइंग टू द नेक्स्ट सेट. And the other factor is that if you are only able to solve 2 out of 5 sets or 3 out of 5 sets, so when you pick up a set, your belief is punctured. So when your belief is punctured, you are going to be always in trouble inside these exams, because यहाँ पे belief test होता है. 10-12 स्टेप जब करने होते हैं तो belief actually get tested. Preet is asking about a new edition books. I think Verbal is scheduled for next year. And maybe I'll bring in LR or DI, one book, otherwise not much. Most of them, the 2, Quants is definitely not getting revised next year. And DILR, this year I revised Quants, DILR, all 3. So next year maybe one. Verbal is definitely getting revised. The 10th edition is coming there. ठीक है? Do I recommend Sandy? Do I recommend a mock before the exam day? Yeah, you can try to do a mock, not on Saturday, but Thursday, Friday तक लो, कल परसों तक लो. 8 attempts good in DILR. देखो good तो नहीं है, but fair है, ठीक है. Given the fact कि इतना लोग डरे रहते हैं DILR से कि आधा से ज़्यादा लोग 6 क्वेश्चन भी नहीं कर पाते हैं. और लास्ट ईयर कैट में हुआ 6 क्वेश्चन नहीं कर पाए थे लोग, 6-8 क्वेश्चन नहीं कर पाए थे इन एग्जाम्स में. वाई? आई डोंट सी द रीज़न. ठीक है. Abhishek says consolidated 30 plus 2 marks, numbers only, unable to increase my score. Are you talking about DILR? Maybe. तो अगर अब जो भी आ रहा है, play to what you know, because if you are getting 20s and you try to go for 40s on the D-day, तो पता चला कि 20s भी नहीं आएगा. So अब last week में the focus is कि ठीक है, I know मेरी औकात मेरे को पता है, औकात के अंदर ही रहूँगा और औकात के अंदर पहले मैं इंश्योर करूँगा कि मेरी औकात का लेवल मेरा आ जाए. उसके बाद अगर मेरे को छक्का मारने का मौका मिलेगा तो 1-2 छक्का मारने की कोशिश करूँगा. दैट इज़ द लॉजिक. ठीक है. बुक्स प्रीत, whenever new editions come, they come in May June. ठीक है. Bharat is a good question. How can avoid ego problem while solving DILR? मत पढ़ो ईगो के चक्कर में. कैट को प्रणाम करो, बोलो कि भैया आपने बहुत अच्छा क्वेश्चन दिया, मेरे को आपसे मार्क्स नहीं चाहिए, मैं दूसरे क्वेश्चन से मार्क्स लूँगा. Don't get into ego there. ठीक है. Sandy says I get around 85 marks in CAT mocks. Can I expect 100 in CAT exam? You can. I'm hoping you're not talking about 100 percentile, 100 score. You can, because the CAT paper will be slightly easier, especially quants part will be slightly easier than what you're doing in the mocks. Why people are not able to score, and more or less most people score what they're scoring in the mocks only, because they're not able to handle the pressure on the D-day. तो अगर pressure को handle कर सकते हो, तो exam will be easier and more logical, right? I don't think the cutoffs will increase, Atharva. ठीक है. Okay, Ayush talks about an important question. When do you identify when to leave a set and move on? I told you last class में मैंने बताया था इसके बारे में, last session में. वो बताया था मैंने first session में कि after your first reading of the set, जब तुम्हारा first set का first reading खत्म हो जाता है, which is around 3 to 4 minutes, to take a go or no go decision. Take a clean go or no go decision. और योर स्किल शुड बी सो मच कि अगर गो डिसीजन लिया तो आंसर निकल के आना चाहिए. ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए कि यहाँ पे पता चले कि फंस गए आके. राइट. सो अगर ये बहुत हो रहा है तुम्हारे साथ तो दैट मीन्स देयर इज अ लैक ऑफ सेल्फ प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग इन योर प्रोसेस. ठीक है. चलो. सो या स्कोर डेफिनेटली, ऑब्वियसली दैट वाज अ जोक. 100 percentile वाज अ जोक, सैंडी. अगर एक फैक्टर होता है कि लास्ट 3 दिन में मॉक मत दो. दिस इज कॉन्टेक्ट इन द कॉन्टेक्स्ट ऑफ व्हाट विभास इज टॉकिंग अबाउट. लास्ट 3 दिन में मॉक इसलिए नहीं देना चाहिए कि खराब स्कोर आ जाएगा तो यू विल स्टार्ट फीलिंग डाउन. और अगर वैसा हो गया है तो एक आध सेक्शन टेस्ट लेके जिस सेक्शन में कम आया अपने आप को रीश्योर करो कि अगर सपोज मैं आज वोबल लेता हूँ और मेरे को दिखता है कि मेरा वोबल स्कोर, मेरा क्वांट स्कोर, मेरा कैट स्कोर कम हो गया वोबल के कारण, तो मैं जाके वर्बल के 2-3 सेक्शन टेस्ट लेके अपने कॉन्फिडेंस को बिल्ड बैक करूँगा. Right. Thanks, Rajan. Thank you. Like, share, comment, and subscribe, and press the bell icon, right? So that we are this thing. I told you whenever I come, I've got a 90-day mission now. YouTube, I'm going to be live every day, irrespective of whether other people in Mindworks are doing a live or not. I'm going to be there with you, whatever my schedule is, and either live or through a video. So do follow us for more this thing. And those of you looking for CAT 22 preparation can definitely try to join us for our CAT 22 batches. The Arun Sharma Academy app also you can pick up. We are starting our first batch on that app on 5th of December. So you can join through the app also. Right. So 14-15 questions with 100 percentile, 100% accuracy will be 99.5 percentile, Anirban. If you get 15 all correct, Anirban, you will get a 99.7 percentile in DILR, or maybe a 99.9. ठीक है. चलो. Yeah, Harshbhai, you can definitely score more than 95. Thank you so much, Snehajit. Thank you so much, and I'll see you tomorrow. I've got to do a session. Maybe I'm busy for the next hour or two. रात को मेरे को एक सेशन शायद मैं रात को कर दूँ उसको. FMS का forms आ गया है, and FMS has got some very good news for those of you who have got poor academics. So I'll do a separate session in the night for that. Thank you so much. Do subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye bye.